training?
I think 1 hour 30 minutes will be fine for us.
Yeah, same.
Okay, and I will try to go a little slow because I know that you're not from KYC background. The first time was it is tough, but trust me, guys, you don't have to remember all of it which I've explained today. It's just for your just even if you got 1% of every entity, that is good for me because this is not something you'll be going through it. Okay, what is directors? Who are this? What is regular? Nothing like that. You will have one entity, you will have 10 requirements, you just collect that 10 requirements. It's just that while you are collecting that documents, you should know this document is for this, just that. So don't stress out much. And I'm always there like for any questions. And of course, we will do one by one each entity. Like for example, if I say private company, I will show you, okay, Khushbu, you've got this entity through KYC. Now what your next steps are. First step, go this, search this, save it. Next step, go this, save it. So it will be an easy go thing. Of course, for initial times, it will be tough, but we will go through it and you don't have to worry at all. Okay, so let's go what trust is. So I will again say don't read whatever it is right now. Just know what trust is and what you need to correct. So when a trust is formed in a very simple language, I would say, like if I have a child and I want to make a trust, I will first, I am the person who is want to make a trust. So what I will be called, I will be known as a settler or a grantor. That means I'm granting. So if I want my property to be given to my child when he is 18 years old, okay, so I will make a trust. So I, who is making a trust, okay, who's actually the person who wants this to be done, will be a grantor or a settler. As the name says, I'm granting. So that is one party. Second, I am giving authority to whom? I cannot give authority to my child directly. Okay, after 18 years, my whole property is yours. I have to have some body. I have to have something to whom I give this, that is a trustee. Okay, he manages and holds my property for the benefit of my child, that is the beneficiary. So these are the three parties involved in a trust. Okay, now you don't have to go into so much detail of, okay, trust has come. Nothing like that. If a trust has come, you know three parties, you have to collect data of that. Who's a settler, who has given, who's the beneficiary, and who is the trustee. These three things, and you are sorted. Am I clear on this?
No, can you let me know one second, please?
For sure. Like if I want to make a trust is what? It's just a legal arrangement between three parties. And why it is formed? Because maybe right now I cannot give something to some person directly. Like example I quoted, I want to give my property to my child who's only 2 years. Okay. Can I give all my property right now because he's 2 years? I cannot. Okay, or I maybe I don't, on even if it is not 2 years, or even there's someone else, I don't want to give it right now. I want to give something at a certain stage or a certain point. Okay. Okay, when my, maybe I want to give something to my mom when she reaches at the age of 40. It's just my wish. Okay, it's nothing like my wish I want to give. So what I'll do is, okay, I take a trust document that I go and I make a trust, okay, and say that I, Priya, who's a settler or a grantor, because I'm granting something. So I, first party, that is, also known as truster. So settler, grantor gives authority to, maybe I go to one bank and say, you hold my property and give to my mom when she is 40. So there are three parties involved in this. One, that is me, as I said before. Second becomes the bank, which holds my property. And third is my mom, who will get the benefit out of it, or who's actually the beneficiary. So these are the three parties which forms the trust. And that's it. Like people assume that, okay, trust is very difficult to understand. No, you should know who are the three parties in it and why it is formed, just and it is formed just for the benefit of whom. Like why I've created such complex structure, just to give the end person, that is the beneficiary, that would be like my mom or my child in this example I quoted, to give them something as, my wish for the benefit of them. So that is why I create this complex structure. Like आपने सुना होगा वसीयत बना के जाते हैं लोग and all that stuff like that. So that is not kind of a trust, I would say, but yet it is something very aligned that they create that, okay, when I will die, just transfer this property to this person.
Understood.
Yeah. So, yeah. And from the KYC perspective, what I would say is you don't have to again go into, okay, trust has come, who has formed it, who is the part, like into so much detail. No, you should know three parties. And if you have them on your picture or in any document, that is good to go. And where will you find these documents? Okay, I have explained this here as well, but then uh, 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 let's reiterate. For the first slide is just the meaning, which you don't have to worry, which I will just explain. You can go through it. And the document through which it is created is known as trust deed. Like you will have something paper, right, in which I sign in and say, okay, when I do this or when I die, please transfer property to my child. So what document is that document called? It is called a trust deed. Okay, so when you're collecting any information about trust, three parties plus trust deed is a must for you that you should have, because that is the authenticity of a trust. You will not have any share document, you will not have any annual report, will you? Like it is not a company, correct? So you will not have any directors or shareholders, nothing like that. You will have one beneficiary, you will have one trustee and a person who is a truster. Is that clear, guys?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And on the right hand side are the various definitions of type of trust. So whenever there is something formed, they will always have certain types of it. Okay, the person can, revoke it, revocable, like a person may amend it. Like if I made one certain declaration that I want this property to be given at age of 40, I may, if I'm alive, I may just change it. So these are like type of trust, which is on the right hand side. You're gonna just read it for your own sake. I'm not gonna, repeat it over here. Just read it for your understanding in your free time. But again, don't have to stress out much of what types of trust there are, because majorly you won't be asked in a KYC what type of trust until unless you have a trust deed and three persons. That's it. Okay. So I'll move ahead. And like I said before, three main parties: settler in a very detail, it's an individual or it may be an entity that establishes a trust. Okay, that is a person who forms a trust. If I have a feeling that I want to trust, that is the person I establish a trust of transferring my assets, something it. And of course, if I am transferring something, I will have my own rules and regulations. Correct. If it's my money, it's my house, I know, when to give, when not to give. So that is, I will write down my terms and conditions. So that is a settler who has the main power, who is actually initiating. And it is a trustee. Trustee is nothing, but it is maybe a person. Like I would just say to my, dad, or maybe I will make a trustee to my dad or any institution, like I said, a bank or something, and said that, okay, it is now your responsibility to hold these assets for me until, the beneficiary reaches a stage where he can has that. So that is a trustee, and beneficiary is always a person who's benefiting out of it. So that is entities designated to receive the benefits of receipts. That's it. And then in some case, you have a trust protector, which is very optional, which is very rare, and it may be appointed just to oversee that the trustees, like if I don't have enough trust, maybe I have appointed a bank, for example, as a trustee. And maybe I am not very happy that, okay, the bank will do that. I am liable that, of course, I will die. And what if the bank does not give that money, right? So now, if I have not that much faith in it, then I will have my trust protector also, and to oversee the trustees' action and ensure that things are very managed, with what I have said to that person or the bank or the institution. Is that clear, guys?
Like, will there be any such documents? I mean, I just wanted to know for trust protector.
Yes, like it will be there. I am not even shocked for that. And thanks for asking this question. I would maybe answer you in the next session. But yes,
Yeah.
if you have a trust protector, you will have any authentication. Anybody can come in and say, I'm the trust protector, or you're not doing
Mm.
like this. Okay. You should have something authenticity in it. So you will have the document, but I'm not sure that whether it will be with the trust deed. It will definitely, I'm not sure for that, that whether, it will be in the trust deed or as a separate document. So that I can
Mm.
confirm. But to be very honest, like which I have just gone to, I've never encountered a trust protector. But yes,
Mm.
in one case I did, and I was like, who is this person? Like when I came across, and then I thought,
Mm.
like, why not to put it into slide for just to know if you, in your life encounter this, you should know that there is a someone who's called trust protector also.
Protector.
Like that's why I put
Correct.
in as an optional. But
Yeah.
yes, and so these three parties are there. And then, of course, you have a trust agreement or a trust deed, which has said one document which says this is a trustor, this is a trustee, this is the beneficiary. So that is very important in KYC because if I say, okay, Khushbu, do KYC of trust, what documents you will collect? Like, will it have annual report? No. Will it have any website? No. Will it have any other document? No. Why? Because it is a trust. So the
Trust it.
main document is trust deed, correct?
Mm.
So it will have the
Yeah.
three parties. Simple as that. And then uh, you have a declare. Sorry. Okay. Go ahead. Like second point which I've stated, declaration of trust. So this is also something like which may be used, look, okay, like in replacement of trust agreement or a trust deed, that instead of a formal trust agreement, that it declares the settler the intent. So you will, like when you're searching for a document for KYC perspective for a trust, you may have one as totally called trust deed in bolds, and you clearly know it is a trust deed and this is the document I want. But in some cases, you might not have that, and you might have declaration of trust, which is very similar to that, and you might use that as well. So this is very rare case, but yes, this is what I've encountered. Like, okay, once I was like researching an entity and I was not able to find a trust, like you wouldn't find, you have to ask to the client because trust agreement won't be like in Google somewhere saved, correct? Because it is like between three parties. So they gave me declaration of trust, and I was like, okay, shall I take it? Because it does not say trust deed, and I was so confused. But this is also a formal trust agreement, and you can use it when it's coming from the client itself is giving. This is the thing I have obtained. So you don't have to question and don't have to worry. Just take it, use it, complete it.
Mm. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. I'm just seeking like which things I can explain you in simple words and not bombarding you with the little difficult things. Okay, let's go for charities. Charity is very good, like is as the name says, it's organization for charitable purposes, and of course for the benefits of the public or any case or for children or for like that. And these are non-profit organizations. So these are charities. I would say charities also from the KYC perspective, it is just very like maybe say 5 or 10% of it which we will encounter in this, because charities do come like I haven't seen it much to do it, but charities, they are the main things which are listed down there. They serve the good purpose, of course, for the benefit. If it is a charity, it is for like for some good purpose also. It is a non-profit status, so you won't have any annual reports or revenue kind of a thing, because it is for a non-profit, purpose or the basic motive behind it. And then it has a voluntary contributions that any individual or corporations come along and want to help. That is why the charity is formed. And these are also tax exempt, so you will not have any tax documents as well because they are for charity. So for charity, then what you will have is that you will have only the charity, like maybe a document which says, or a website, okay, because like .gov. So like that, you have a website which says, okay, we formed this charity, and for the purpose of
Chat.
like maybe, yeah.
We need charity number from customer.
Yes, so charity, because they have certain, of course, when a charity is formed, something is formed, some body is formed, right? Like you said, very correct. It's like for certain, you should have a number of charity, and when it is formed and what purpose it is, of course, it will have some purpose of it, like maybe educating children or women or protecting something. So it will have certain definition of why it is formed. Then it will have people who formed it or who are the main core people who is managing them or who's taking into consideration everything, because anything and everything cannot be run like anything. Of course, it's a charity, but they will have a body to execute it, correct? So when it comes like charity, you will not have any certain documentations, okay? But then you would have things to know. And of course, when we are doing one as a charity as a case, there are very minimal requirements for it to collect, and I will let you know like what all the things we collect for it. But yes, charity is something which is very easy breezy for you, and you can get these documents publicly as well, but yes, you might need to collect it from the client because they don't want like certain documents to be public for that purpose. Is that clear?
Yes.
Okay. And then, okay, we have, I can take 5 minutes in. Then, uh, 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 partnership is okay. I will can explain you partnership. And again, I would say don't just read it, just listen to me. What is partnership? I and Khushbu come together and say, okay, we want to form a company. And we formed a company. So there will be a partnership between, two or more persons, of course. So then any third person also comes along. That is okay. That is a partnership. Now partnership is formed. Okay. Now partnership will not have any documents other than like partnership, deed as well. Like they do have a partnership deed in which I sign, okay, me and Kushbu are becoming the partners of, this, we form a company of this. So that is a partnership is formed. Is that basic, simple meaning clear to you all?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, only the major hurdle or the major thinking of you arrives is what is limited liability partnership, or what is that? So as you can see, I would just read that out for you for simple understanding. Is one of the primary advantages of a limited liability partnership, or what is limited liability. So partnership is clear to you, first thing. Now is what is limited liability partnership. Okay, I had first the limited, but then guys, please excuse for the trouble I've created. So I will first explain you what is limited partnership. Limited liability is the second one. So just to be more clear of you. So partnership is clear. Now comes limited partnership. Forget about what I was speaking, at first. So it is a structure that combines element of general partnership with the elements of limited liability partnership. Don't worry what that means. Just understand partnership, and when it comes to limited, it will have two parties, general partners and limited partners. Okay. So I am a general partner, maybe, and Harjot can become a limited partner for now. So if I am a general partner, I will be responsible for everything, for every management, for every losses, for every and each and everything. Because I'm in general. The word general says that whatever happens to the company or operations or whatever depths they are into, okay, I will be the person who will be responsible of everything regardless. And when it comes to Harjot, okay, she's a limited partner. So I would say she will only contribute to the capital. She brought in only maybe like 20% of, the amount. So she will only be liable to that 20%. Whatever happens to it will only affect that 20%. While me, because I became the very, general partner and very generous, I'll be liable for everything. So there are two parties involved. Is that clear? It is just as simple as that. You don't have to dig into things. With limited partnership, whenever you see LP, that means two parties are there, general and limited. General for all, limited is just to the extent of amount that person has invested. Is that clear, guys? Or
Yes.
any, yeah. Khushbu for you?
Yes, I understood.
Yeah. So that is partnership. And so again, I would say when it comes to KYC, if you have a partnership and you see, okay, LP is there, your main thing is, okay, who's general partner, who's limited partner. Once you have the name, your job is done. Okay, you don't have to worry, okay, general partner, oh, she's liable for all these obligations. No, not like that. You should know general partner who it is, and you're correcting that. Limited partner is limited to the extent, that's it. So no like more work on it. But yes, these are the two parties you need to collect. So that should be your main concern. And for the limited partnership, the documents is, like I said, certificate of limited partnership. Like you have a trust deed. For trust, you have a certificate of limited partnerships and limited partnership agreements. Like, okay, um, as a agreement, this document outlines the rights and responsibilities and whatever covers the capital contribution, the profits, how much amount each person have, put in, the management structure, who will take the decisions and that stuff. Don't have to worry about what it is written, what it is not written. None of your concern. The only thing is there is an agreement, your job is done. Okay, and certificate of limited partnership. And I would explain to you limited liability funds. And I think one more is left in the next session, because special purpose vehicle, I don't want to like be so much involved into this thing. I don't want to be boring. But yes, I want your feedback, guys. If you want any, different pattern of me explaining. One point is, I know that I need to give you examples and show you, because that will make you more interested, in learning rather than just speaking. And if you can just give me more feedback so I don't improve, I would really appreciate that.
No, like considering it as first day, we
Mm-hmm.
felt like it was just a brief explanation on all the entity types.
Mm-hmm.
So coming forward with future dates, even I mean, we will be working on examples.
Mm-hmm.
So might be
Right.
it will be easy and more understandable
Yes.
for us. Yeah, because
Yeah.
when we get training, training will be completely different, and when we process any work, it's
It
different.
is
So
different. Exactly.
correct.
Just reading the matter and knowing, like, it is just like studying in college. Like, okay, this, but when you
Ah,
actually come into workplace and you do practically, that is totally different. Might be very
correct.
easy or it might be, very difficult.
Difficult.
So, correct. So
Yes.
I do
So,
understand, but I wanted to take this session because I've encountered that people start KYC and they don't know. Like they do limited partnership and they are like, oh, what it is, and then people say, okay, you have to collect general partner. They collect general partner, but then they don't know what general partner is, what limited partner is. It is very important because
mm,
when you have a document, you can actually go through, okay, general partner found one. You getting my point?
mm,
You can easily relate to
correct.
searching of the documentations with this if you
No,
have
at
knowledge
least,
of it.
yeah. And in today's session, we were listening what is LP, LLP, LLC, and
Mhm.
all. But today, at least after this session, the detailed explanation we
Yeah.
were able to understand.
No, that's so sweet of you. But yes, you don't have to. Again, I would say this session is not like, okay, it is not a mug up session. Oh, I forgot what government entity is, what state your entity is. You will automatically remember when I'll do the practical thing. And
Correct.
that is
Yeah.
nothing of your concern. Like, okay. And then actually you will be more excited that, okay, oh, I have 5 documents. I found that. Good. KYC is done.
Yeah,
Yes.
it was good.
Okay. Yeah, thank you. And I will try to make it more interactive, like more exciting so that you're not bored. And Harjot, you have anything to say?
Ma'am, I want to ask that will you provide a list like where what documents we need to collect for different entity types and like where we will source it from?
Of course. So that is also, like I said, will be very easy. If you're working in any organization, like I've worked with various banks, so every banks have different, lists. Like for example, I said for public listed company, one organization says you don't have to collect any shareholders. Your stress is gone, no shareholders, four documents, my job is done. One organization says, okay, do collect that. So you will have that. So it is a checklist which will be given to you. The only thing is private company, you have 10 things to collect. You will know that 10 things. You don't have to determine yourself 10 things. First thing, you will know these are the 10 things I need to collect. It will be like readily available to you, and you will have the links of, okay, these are the registries where I can find, these are the places where I can find. You will have the links as well. Okay. The major concern in KYC occurs when you are searching something on that, going on links, but you're not able to find, right? If I say, okay, this annual report, you will find this annual report, but when you go and you Google it and you're not able to find annual report, and even if you're able to find the annual report, maybe it is not signed. Okay, maybe the auditor's report is not there. That is the major challenge you encounter, and then you have to use your discretion and do a little more research and say, okay, can I find this page, or can I find it somewhere else, or I need to ask client. Always the last option would be like, of course you cannot make your documents on yourself, you go to client and ask. So before going to client and asking, we just want to make sure that I have done my job, I have researched, I have not found anything publicly. That's it. So you don't
Yes.
have to concern about what documents you need to collect. You will get that list. Where you need to collect, don't have to stress out. You will get that links. And by the time you have done 1, 3, 4 entities, next time you don't have to even refer to that link. You know, okay, it is a US entity, I will find it here. It is a UK entity, I will find it here. That will come
Okay.
obviously with the
Okay, ma'am.
experience.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You really explained very well today.
No, thank you. I just want something you want me to improve, like because if you're getting bored or lagged out, because of course I've also attended sessions, and if it is like more than 1 hour, sometimes I feel lazy. Even if I want to concentrate, I am like backed up. Okay, now my level is not to concentrate. So yes, that
For
way.
me, it was really interactive session and I really enjoyed and it was not boring at all.
Okay, thank you. And the rest of the people, Harshada, you didn't say anything.
Ma'am, it was good and
No.
I understood a lot.
Okay. And guys, don't hesitate to ask anything. Like I would say, even if this basic simple thing, just ask, because I'm here to like tell you, because I have gone through this like more than 5 years, 6 years maybe now. And daily I learn something new. Okay. And I didn't got this training, to be honest. I was like put into KYC and I was struggling myself to, research documents, know all these things. Though we come from accounts background, but it is very hard to retain everything. We cannot just remember and mark up everything in our minds that, okay, I know this. So don't worry, it will come with experience, and ask as many questions as you can. Okay. I think that's time for us. And we will meet on the next session. I will share when and at what time to meet. Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Goodbye.
Bye.
Nice.
Happy
Bye-bye.
weekend.
You too. Bye.